Oh my goodness. Hello, you guys. I'm so sorry it took us a few minutes here. We had to make a few little changes, having trouble getting on. Operator error. It's always my error. It's not YouTube. Let's see if I can arrange a few things. Get settled in here. Get you guys straight. Awesome. Welcome to my show this morning. This is Jeana at Art of Skincare. And today I'm going to be talking to you about managing hyperpigmentation in the summertime. So my philosophy is that we need to go out and enjoy our lives. In the summertime, we need to be active, we need to be outdoors. It's good for us, but we can't be fretting about the hyperpigmentation that we're going to collect. So my philosophy is always in the summertime to manage the hyperpigmentation. Know that you're going to pick up some along the way, and it's okay. Come September, we'll all get together here at Art of Skincare. We'll do some live videos and we'll do some peels that just remove that summer hyperpigmentation that we pick up. But there's some key things that you need to know if you want to help manage that hyperpigmentation and kind of keep it under some control throughout the summer months. So the first thing that I like to share is that hyperpigmentation is an inflammatory response. So just like rosacea is inflammatory, with rosacea you know it's inflammatory because that skin turns bright red. Well, that inflammation is hidden with hyperpigmentation. Hyperpigmentation, the skin, instead of turning red, it produces melanin and it produces these dark spots or uneven pigmentation on the skin. So a large element of handling hyperpigmentation is going to be managing that inflammation that you get. So of course we're going to want to manage sun exposure, wearing a hat, wearing our sunscreen, reapplying and all of that, but we also want to manage inflammation. Now, what's important to note is not only does inflammation lead to, for some people, rosacea, for other people, hyperpigmentation, but it also contributes to aging. It's one of the leading causes of aging right underneath sun exposure. So handling inflammation is super important, not only for the hyperpigmentation, but also for just keeping our skin young, youthful, and our collagen really protected. So I have some things that I like to do in the summer months. First of all, let's start by saying that I take a break from the really strong stuff. If you're using hydroquinone alternatives, strong acids, this is a time to take a break from those. And because they are going to create some increased sun sensitivity and more inflammation in the skin. And so it's a good time to take a little break from some of the really harsher, stronger retinols, things like that, and use some of the other things that are a little more anti-inflammatory and go about treating hyperpigmentation in a different way, in a gentler way. So we have a question here from Christy. She wants to know, does hyperpigmentation turn into melasma? So melasma is a form of hyperpigmentation. So when we talk about hyperpigmentation, that could be sunspots, it can be melasma. Melasma is also caused by hormones that cause that inflammation in the skin and increase it. So we've got uneven pigmentation, we've got dyschromia is also a type of hyperpigmentation, we've got vitiligo. Vitiligo, dyschromia, some of those things, you may notice it as you age, that you get lighter spots and darker spots on the skin all over the body. And I have what we call poikiloderma. So that's where you get a very light or no pigment right here, but then you get a lot of red or darker pigment around the outsides of that, and that is a form of dyschromia. So all of those under the hyperpigmentation category, as we would think of it, all of those are affected by the sun, inflammation, and harsh, the skin being over dried out, a compromised barrier. All of those make our skin more susceptible to that uneven pigmentation. So first of all, we talked about let's cut back on the harsher things. Let's cut back on the glycolic acid. Let's cut back on retinols and peels. Let's take a break from those in the summer months. We do want to allow our skin to produce some melanin. Why does your skin produce melanin? Because that's how it protects itself. So if we don't have that melanin rising to the surface and protecting us, we have that sun going straight down into the cells and damaging and potentially leading to cancer and things like that. So our melanocytes are our friends. It's just some areas they trigger more melanin than other areas. And usually it's an area where the skin feels like it's more sensitive or it's been wounded before. Then it's going to rush to work and send out extra melanin to protect that particular spot. So another kind of melanin or hyperpigmentation is that post-inflammatory. Say you have a pimple or you've had a wound to the skin. When you go out in the sun, at first after a blemish, it'll be very dark red or purple. As that fades, it can then turn into a brown spot because your body is saying, hey, this is a wounded area. It needs extra melanin to protect it. So that's another type of hyperpigmentation that we work with and we'll talk about today. So the first thing that we want to do is we do want to allow your skin to make some melanin because you're going to need that for protection. So that's why I'm saying no hydroquinone on the skin, another really harsh type of brighteners like that, because you do want to have some melanin production. It's going to be completely normal. And like I said, at the end of summer, come fall, we'll do some peels, we'll do some home microdermabrasion together, and we'll get that pigmentation all taken care of and get that skin light and bright again. So when I go into summer, things that I think about applying to my skin, first of all, I grab a favorite vitamin C serum. And my favorite vitamin C serum for summer is GeneXC from Is Clinical. This is a next generation vitamin C, so it's very advanced. It's a very advanced formulation, and it also contains extremozymes. Extremozymes actually go to work and speak to the cells in your skin and trigger it to do things. It's either going to upregulate or downregulate your cells so that they're healthier. So one way that it downregulates is this downregulates inflammation, which is fabulous. We do want to downgrade that inflammation so the skin is not so overreactive. It upregulates things like collagen production, the healthy healing reactions in the skin, and that's great. We want to upregulate those. So this is a vitamin C serum. I won't be without it in the summertime. You put this on directly after cleansing. If you use a toner, you would put it on after toning, pat it onto the skin, and let it dry. The next step in my routine, I grab a product from Color Science. This is called Even Up. Even Up doesn't have any acids in it. So it's particularly great for people with super sensitive skin who want to do brightening, but it's also, for me, it's that great daytime brightener for my skin. I pulled up some ingredients here for you to tell you what it does, because it's pretty special. It's got the Thermus thermophilus in there. It's an antioxidant ferment, which is an extremozyme that protects from ultraviolet light and infrared damage. This actually strengthens your stratum corneum, because a big problem with hyperpigmentation is if our barrier is in disrepair, it's too dry or it's weakened, we are going to have more inflammation and we're going to have more hyperpigmentation coming about. So another great ingredient is called Revenage. Revenage is a natural botanical extract that mimics a retinoid. So that's going to increase cellular turnover so we can slough off those little darker skin cells. It's got unilucent PA13, which I love. This is from rhubarb, and it mimics, this is from rhubarb, and it evens out the skin tone and decreases melanin production and the accumulation of melanin in the keratinocytes. So it's just going to reduce that hyperreaction of the cells to produce melanin. It's got a crystalline in there, which is a time-release peptide, and it's a lipid blend that increases moisturization and harmonizes skin's maturation and renewal process to smooth and even the surface. So not only are we going to have some nice protection with the melanocytes and dark spots, but we're also going to have some protection for smoothing the skin, dryness, and little lines like that. We also have in here a Phytoist, which is a plant-derived humectant, and it has been shown to be 4 times more hydrating than hyaluronic acid. So this is also about improving that skin barrier. So love this serum. I can put this on every day. If I'm going to be out in the sun, if I'm going to be at the beach, I don't have to worry that I'm putting an acid on my skin for brightening. This is a great one that I travel with. Now, Even Up also comes with a pigment corrector if you want to do the pigment corrector, and I travel with that pigment corrector because when I'm out in the sun, I'm layering on sunscreen. So I'll put on Even Up, and then I'll put on the pigment corrector. And the pigment corrector is not made to match anyone's skin tone. So you're going to pat it on and it's going to look a little bit off on your skin color, but the color of it actually blends and camouflages hyperpigmentation spots, which is really great. You put that on, you just pat it on, let it set, and then put on your regular foundation, or I often like to use from Color Science their Flex, which is a sunscreen foundation, and you use that in your natural color. So then when I pat that on in the natural color, it completely blends the camouflage, and it's wonderful because you're layering. The camouflage is a 50, Flex I believe is a 40, so you're just getting lots of layers of sunscreen to help protect that area that is prone to hyperpigmentation. Now during the day, I just pretty much told you what I do during the day because I've got these two, and then I've got my Even Up camouflage on there, and then I'm putting on my Flex, and that's it for daytime. Now at nighttime, I'm going to do something a little different, but I like to keep it simple. So let me answer a few questions. Are you using both vitamin C? Whoops. Oh, there's a lot of questions coming in here. Cut back actives. Oh, let's back up a little bit. Okay, so this client wants to know, cut back actives even if acne prone? No, you're not going to cut back your actives if you are acne prone. You're going to go ahead and keep using your mandelic serums. If you're going to go out in the pool that day, that's when, or at the beach, you know you're going to be out in the sun, then you could go without using your mandelic acid during the day, but at nighttime you're going to want to use your acne med because you're going to want to keep treating your skin. Now, I'm having trouble seeing all my messages, so let me go grab, I hate this, leaving you guys. Don't leave me. I'm going to go grab my phone so I can answer all your questions. Can't see the questions. Thank you. Here we go. The whole reason to do these lives is so I can interact with you guys, so we have to make it easy to do. I get my phone on and turn the volume down so I don't hear myself. Okay, now I can see all my questions coming up. Okay. Okay, here's their question. Are you using both vitamin C serum and Even Up together or alternating? And I am using them together. So I'm washing my face, putting on my vitamin C serum, let it dry all the way so that ascorbic acid in there gets to do its good work. So it doesn't take long, you know, a minute or so to let that dry, and then put your Even Up on top of it. Absolutely. Okay. Is Even Up acne safe? Yes, it is. Can you use tretinoin with this? Yes, you could use tretinoin with this, but as I said in the beginning, I recommend taking a break from retinol. Tretinoin is retinol. It's a very harsh form of retinol. It's really disruptive to your skin barrier. So I would just set that aside. Put it away until fall. Don't use it during the summer months. Now, at nighttime, I'm going to show you what to use instead, because tretinoin shouldn't be used during the day ever. So at nighttime, what am I doing to take care of my skin and manage hyperpigmentation? So at nighttime, cleansing my face, and I'm applying Is Clinical's Brightening Complex. This is fabulous. It's a complex is like a serum, but it's a little bit more of a moisturizer. It has a bit more of a creamy feel to it. A little bit, there we go. So I can use this at nighttime as my serum and my moisturizer at nighttime. Some people, if you have very dry skin, you could put a moisturizer on top of this if you want to. The ingredient deck in this is so fantastic. So my mom has vitiligo. She had a lot of places where she had pigment loss, and then where she still had pigment, it was like hyperpigment. It was darker because it was more affected by the sun. So she had white and brown, and she used this as her moisturizer. Within 6 months to a year, all the brown spots were gone, and so now her face just is uniform in all one color, which is really nice. She really likes that, but it was done with this product. So it can be used during the day as a moisturizer as well, but I only use it during the day in the winter months. I have her use this at nighttime during the summertime. So let's talk about these great ingredients in here. So we've got willow bark extract and sugarcane extract. So willow bark is going to be your naturally occurring salicylic acid. Sugarcane extract is going to be the natural form of glycolic acid. So since both of these are in the more natural form, they're not going to be as irritating, drying, or cause as much sun sensitivity in your skin. We've got in here bilberry extract, which is an antioxidant, and it gently exfoliates and promotes healthy blood flow and increases collagen production with calming effects to overall skin health. So here we are, we're providing some really wonderful exfoliation like we would think we would get with a retinol or any of the other acids, but we're getting that exfoliation with a lot of calming as well. We've got to keep that skin calm. So this has got in there Norwegian kelp, which boosts exfoliation as well and acts as a tyrosinase inhibitor. So that's going to improve your hyperpigmentation and keep dark spots from forming. It's got a vitamin C in there. This is tetradecyl ascorbate. It's a next generation form of vitamin C, so Is Clinical, they're the best at using those really great forms of vitamin C. This is an oil-soluble form of vitamin C. It offers antioxidant and UV protection. It's skin lightening, DNA protecting, and it promotes collagen synthesis. We also have in here, and I love this, it's got that alpha-arbutin in there. Alpha-arbutin is going to be, again, a tyrosinase inhibitor. That means it's going to inhibit dark pigmentation reactions in the skin. It's going to brighten dark spots and prevent hyperpigmentation and reduce scarring. So this is really important. Alpha-arbutin is so important for inflammatory conditions, which we know hyperpigmentation is, or if you've had a blemish, there's a lot of inflammation that goes on with there. So this becomes a really important serum for people who are struggling with post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, and also knowing that all of us deal with post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation because all hyperpigmentation is an inflammatory response. We've got in here licorice root. Licorice root is a brightening and anti-inflammatory agent that balances skin tone and helps inhibit hyperpigmentation. And then we've got mushroom extract. I love it. It's rich in fatty acids. It improves the ability of the skin to retain moisture and maintain a healthy skin barrier while boosting collagen and calming inflammation. So here we've hit on the most important 3 serums that I'm using this summer. It's the GeneXC, the Even Up, and the Brightening Complex. Now, there's something else that can be very helpful for hyperpigmentation, and many people with hyperpigmentation have been afraid of it, and that is LED. LED is an anti-aging technology that goes after inflammation. That's how it works. Like I said, inflammation is the biggest cause of aging in the skin. It's also the biggest cause of hyperpigmentation in the skin. So using LED is going to reduce that pigmentation. Now in the past, I've been using the light stem, and as you guys know, I have you hold it off a little bit so you don't feel the heat from it and move it around. Well, I now have a new device for you guys. So we have an Omnilux, goes on the face. You leave it on for only 10 minutes and it doesn't overheat. And it can be used on top of any of these serums. So you can put on at nighttime, you can put on your Brightening Complex, you can put on this mask for 10 minutes and you're gonna get a super duper anti-inflammatory brightening treatment. Now we also have little patches that you can put on your face. You put the patch on your face on that area and just let it set. That has a hydrocolloid patch underneath. It has azelaic acid and it has vitamin C on it. And I actually left that on Maura's face. So Maura, if you're watching, or somebody can send Maura in here, I left the patch on her because we were testing it. I haven't used the hydrocolloid masks yet, and I wanted to know, can you use it on more than one spot? And so we stuck it on her right before I went live today. So at some point we'll have her come in and we'll see how that worked out. There she is. Did it stick on? Where is it?
Oh, let me grab it.
Grab it for us. Okay, she said it did stick. So I'm gonna move on to some questions while we're waiting. Next question, if I incorporate a vitamin C from Neogenesis and even up, when would I put on my Glymed Daily Clarifying and Neogen Mandelic Acid? So you're putting on a lot of serums. I would first put on your vitamin C serum and let it dry, and then put on your clarifying, and then put on your Mandelic. Now, if you know that you're going to be out in the sun that day and you're spending the day out at the beach or on a bike ride, that's when you're going to cut back. And that's when you would either, you could just use your vitamin C and use your clarifying and maybe just leave out the Mandelic for that day. But you're going to want to modify that routine a little bit. Okay, Maura's here. So this is a great patch, you guys. On this side, it's hydrocolloid. It has azelaic acid, which is a brightener. And we also have vitamin C in that. And then you turn on this little puppy. And now we have the little LED on. And how did it go, Maura? Did it stay the whole time?
It's lost most of its stick now, but it is sticky enough that you could do 2 treatments.
Two times.
Probably not enough.
Okay. So it's going to be okay for your first treatment. And she said it stuck really well for the second treatment. But by the third treatment, it was starting to feel loose. So you can see here, well, you can't see, but I can feel it. It's a little bit loose on there. So if you have maybe a third spot, you might give it a little hold, hang on to it for a little bit. They state that the little hydrocolloid patch on there is good for 1 use. So you would change it out each time. But we at Artist Skincare, we're always like, how can we get more out of it? So we had to test it today and see on somebody who didn't have any makeup on, clean skin, to see how long it would stay and how many times you could reuse it. So 2, maybe 3 times with the same patch on. But I love this because many people get just one hyperpigmentation spot, and this can go to work on that area. It's especially beneficial if you don't want to spend, thanks Maura, and it doesn't get hot. No heat at all. So those who are really worried about the heat, this is the way to go. The face mask doesn't get hot either. It gets a tiny bit warm, but really there's no heating problem with the whole face mask either. The whole face mask, when you look it up though, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. So if you're wanting an easy way in that's a little less expensive, picking up the little skin correctors can be really helpful. Let's turn this little guy off. I love how these work. We also have them for blemishes, so if you have a blemish, you can stick it on. And then we have one for under the eye area if you just want to treat under your eyes. Okay, let's get back to our conversation, see what we have next here. Here's a question. How would this brightener compare to Rhonda Allison's Mega Brightening Serum, especially for dark skin tones? So I love Natural Mega Brightening Serum from Rhonda Allison. It has an alternative to hydroquinone in there that's just as strong or stronger than hydroquinone, but without the negative effects. So on that statement, on that bottle, on our directions on that, it tells you have to cycle on. 3 months on, 3 months off, 3 months on, 3 months off. So during the summer 3 months is when I would say set aside your Natural Mega Brightening Serum. Put it up in your medicine cabinet, keep it somewhere dark and cool. Pull that back out in the fall. You don't want to use that serum all year round, and you want to use it with other products. All of these that I've shown you today, these all work great with that darker Fitzpatrick, darker skin tones, and you'll be fine with those. So you can rotate out of Natural Mega and rotate into Even Up and even into Brightening Complex. Okay. Let's go to the next. What are the patches company brands? Sorry, I just kind of skipped over that, huh? So this is Omnilux. Whoop, there you go. These are Omnilux. The face mask is Omnilux, and this was the light stem. But the little patch is from Omnilux. We are loving it. Okay. How does a youth serum, this would be Is Clinical, how does their youth serum compare to youth serum? Which one is better for mature skin? So I think what Lori meant to do was say, how does youth serum compare to GeneXC? And GeneXC has a much higher concentration of vitamin C in it. And so some people will layer them. You can use your youth serum and then layer on your GeneXC, or use one or the other, depending on how much you're getting outdoors and getting in the sun. If you're more outdoors, you're probably going to want that extra protection that GeneXC is giving you, but I love youth serum. It's fantastic. It just doesn't have as much vitamin C. Which one is better for mature skin? They're both excellent for mature skin. So, yeah. Oh, so she was talking about Youth Complex and Youth Serum. So Youth Complex goes on at nighttime. That's your corrective. That's got your acids in it. So Youth Complex is at nighttime. Youth Serum is during the day. So you still use both. You're just using the serum during the day and the complex at night. And yeah, that's what Lori's saying. Yeah. Youth Complex, Youth Serum. And I believe I have that right. I'm pretty sure it's Youth Complex. Yeah, it's Youth Complex that has the acids in it, so it goes at nighttime. It's different. Their brand is interesting. Keeping it all straight in my head is always interesting. So I want to take more questions now. I did mention that all of this is about managing that inflammation. It's about managing your hyperpigmentation through the summer months, knowing that when we move into fall, that's when we're going to grab the big guns. That's when we're going to grab that Natural Mega Brightening Serum from Rhonda Allison. That's when we're going to grab our retinols again and increase our retinol usage. And it's also the time of year when we start to do our Is Clinical peels. And this year's going to be very exciting because we have a new peel from Is Clinical, and it's a peel where you use it once or twice a week instead of every other day, but it's stronger and it has, I think, 3 or 4 times as many brighteners in it. So we're going to have a good time with that come fall. Come September, that's when we're going to go after the darker pigmentation spots that we have built up. Okay, I'm going to see if we have any more questions here. I'm not seeing any more. I think we got them all. If I missed your question, pop it in there at the bottom again. But I'm going to go up here to the top and check. Christy says, love Art of Skincare. Thank you, Christy. This is our passion. We love doing this here. We're all about the skin. Okay, we did it. I think we got through and there's Lori. So we did. We got through all the questions. Thanks for joining me today. Now, if you guys have, here's one. Is carboxy mousse good for inflammation and melasma? So carboxy mousse is good for inflammation. So yes, it would be great. It's a little more active. It can be used daytime or nighttime. It's a fabulous moisturizer. It's not super hydrating. If you have it, you probably already know this and you like that about it. It's great for an oilier skin or for a combo skin. If you have dry, more normal to dry skin, on top of the carboxy mousse, she's talking about CO2 lift carboxy mousse. If you're using that and you're on the drier side, that's when you're going to want to put another moisturizer on top of it, maybe Color Science Barrier Pro moisturizer, essential moisturizer, something like that on top of it. But what everybody who's using that carboxy mousse loves is it's so smoothing to their skin. I really see it as a cavapla for my clients under 45, or those in their 20s, 30s, maybe early 40s if you're oilier skin. That's your cavapla replacement. So cavapla, if you don't know what that is, cavapla is a Korean beauty item that I use. I use it every morning and it plumps the skin. It helps with maintain healthy fat pad, healthy collagen pad, keeps that skin really glowing and moist and healthy. And there's nothing else like it. As my clients get older, if you're in your 70s, I'm going to tell you this is the serum that you need. Anytime I have somebody with more advanced signs of aging and deeper lines, Cavapla is that product that makes a difference, that you can actually see a difference in the skin. But so the carboxy, CO2 lift carboxy mousse is the equivalent of that for younger people. Now, a lot of younger people have constantly asked me, can I use Cavapla? They're in their 30s, they want to use Cavapla. And I say, yeah, you can, but you really don't need it. But that's where the carboxy CO2 lift mousse moisturizer comes into play. It's amazing for that younger skin. It really smooths out the skin. It gives it that same luminous glow that the Cavapla does. So that's the story on that. But I saw there was a bunch of questions coming in, so let me get back on there and look at those. Oops, now we're on a different post. There we go. Megan says, my lips get super dry. Anything I can do? I use BP around the mouth and chin. Yeah, so if you're using BP, you've got to we have a Rhonda Allison Pro Salve. You've got to put that on to keep the BP from traveling up around the lips. I recently had purchased a lipstick and I thought it was so great because it was making my lips so plump. But by day 3, my lips were so plump and my tongue started swelling. So then the next day I broke out in a rash. So I now have eczema over my entire lip, mouth area, and it's just been miserable. So I know what it's like to have that really dry, chapped lips going on. So Anfisa lip balm would be excellent for you to use during the day, but at nighttime you're going to need something like Vaseline or that Pro Salve from Rhonda Allison to actually create a barrier that keeps that acne med. It's benzoyl peroxide. We want to keep that from traveling up into the lip area. Many people have the same problem with their acne med traveling into the eye area and then getting all that dry, crepey skin around the eyes. Same thing, you're going to want to just put a protective barrier with that Pro Salve around the eyes, on the lips, and then put on your acne med. Do you continue using Hop Cavapla through the summer? It really depends. I will use it a couple times a week, usually during the summer, but if I'm traveling, I don't take it to travel with me. What I showed you, this is what I travel with. These are my travel buddies. But I will still use it a couple times a week, and both of these serums that I showed you, the GeneXC and Even Up, both of those play beautifully with Cavapla, and you can put it on top. So a couple times a week, using my Cavapla. Mainly, I'm not using it as much because I'm just on the go when I'm out and I'm doing things. But if I'm coming into work and I'm getting ready for a video, you better believe I'm putting on my Cavapla. I put my Cavapla on today for sure. Let's see, what are your thoughts on Brilliant Tone by Glymed? I love Brilliant Tone. So Brilliant Tone would be your nighttime brightener. I'm using the Brightening Complex from Ms. Clinical. I use Brilliant Tone. I used it all throughout the winter time when I wasn't needing quite as much brightening, but I wanted to keep working on creating that evenness of my skin tone. I used Brilliant Tone. When I'm wanting a little faster action, a little more happening, that's when I'm gonna grab my Brightening Complex. But either one of those are gonna do a great job. Brightening Complex, I find I can use every single night. Brilliant Tone, it's recommended to use it 2 or 3 nights a week, but I've had many clients that even use that every night of the week without any issues. So really, your preference, or whatever you have at home, use it. Next question, where would Cavapla fit in this routine you just gave us? Okay, so let's do it. So you cleanse your face. When you're using Cavapla, you want to use a nice gel cleanser because you need that skin to be really nice and clean in order for the Cavapla to do its foaming action. So once you've washed your face, then you're going to put on your GeneXC, pat it on, and let it dry. Then you're going to grab your Even Up, and you're going to put the Even Up all over. And then you're going to shake your Cavapla and put 3 or 4 pumps in your hand. Now, Cavapla used to be an airless pump. So we used to have to like pound it when we were shaking it and turn it upside down and pound it. It's not an airless pump anymore, thank goodness. It now has a straw in there. So you don't have to turn it upside down and pump, but just regular shake. 3 or 4 pumps in your hand, put it on. As you're putting it on, it's gonna foam up just gently, just lightly, a little bit of foam. Keep massaging. Massage it in until that disappears, or use your Time Master Pro. Once you start to see that foam, get your TMP out and use it on only setting number 1 and work that foam into the skin. Then you're gonna put on your Promoter Repair Moisturizer. And then you're going to grab the Even Up Pigment Corrector. And that's where you're going to put on your little bit of the pigment corrector. Or I'll tell you what I do. You don't have to do what I do. You guys know I overdo it. So after I put on my Promoter Repair Moisturizer, I'm going to grab Hop All Mineral Sunscreen. And I love it. It just gives you, it's like putting a highlighter all over your face. It gives you this really wonderful luminous glow all over, and I get the back of my hands, my arms with it. Then I grab the pigment corrector, and I'm patting on that pigment corrector just where I am pigmentation prone. So here, a little bit around this area on my neck, let it dry. Then I'm grabbing Flex from Color Science, and I use Flex Medium, and I'll put usually about 1 fingerful. Now, if you're just using Flex and no other sunscreen, you would do 3 fingers worth. But I've already got all mineral on, and then I've got my pigment corrector on, so probably 1 line of Flex, and I massage that over the skin, and that's what's going to give me the right skin tone and just a beautiful glowy finish to my skin. Then from there, I'm putting on my Color Science blush, a little bit of bronzer, and my Color Science lips, and I'll put some of the bronzer on my eyelids, and so I'm just sunscreened up. Everything, all my makeup has sunscreen in it, and it's just really such a great protection. I started with Color Science last summer, and that's when I started doing this whole system, and this winter I had the least amount of hyperpigmentation to deal with and try and lighten up than ever in the past. It's been such a great pigmentation management system for the summer months. Okay, so that's the entire system if you want to do Cavapla. Yeah, and you're welcome. I think I got all your questions now, so we did it. Yay. Cavapla or Dr. SA also has some new brightening products, and we'll be talking about those a little later in the summer. Some of you may have already picked them up, the anti-melatoning products. Those are also absolutely fantastic. I don't use them quite as much. At this time of year, I'm getting ready to go on vacation, so I've got my Even Up out because they're a little bit more active. But you can get the same great results using the Dr. SA's anti-melatoning serum. So if you have the anti-melatoning toner, serum, and the cream, you can incorporate those with your Cavapla, and they also work very well. You wouldn't need to do this routine. So there's just so many different ways to get the job done. So depending on your preferences and what you like, you can do it. Okay, we are good. I think oftentimes you guys, as soon as I hang up with you guys, that's when like 3 more questions come in, and I always feel really bad. So I believe though that we have all your questions this time, so we can actually say goodbye. If you're confused, because I can be confusing, if you're not sure which of these products you should use or in what order they go on, just reach out to our live chat. My live chat is manned by estheticians. They're there Monday through Friday, Pacific Standard Time. Pretty much they're on there from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. So you can get a live esthetician, and she can actually answer these questions for you and help you to pick out the right one for your skin. All right, you guys, have a wonderful day. And get out there, enjoy this beautiful weather, and I'll see you all again when I get back from my vacation. Got all my stuff ready to go and can't wait to go. I'm actually going to Italy, my very first time, and I'm going to enjoy some sunshine while I'm there and some beaches, and just come back to you guys all refreshed and ready to go in the first week of June. All right, see you guys. Take care.